All right, hi, this is Jeff from Big Hairy Dog, and this is a Prism webinar on sales orders. Quick here, let's take a look at what we're going to try and accomplish. We're going to try and get through some orders here. So we're going to look at some preferences, types of orders, creating, taking deposits, refunding, canceling, that kind of stuff, right? So let's dive in. Go to Admin Console, Node Preferences, Node Selection. The sweet spot to edit preferences is inside the subsidiary, but above the stores. Then you can come down to transactions, orders. And you can see that there are 3 types of orders, right? So I've got all 3 of these turned on, but we can turn them off. Like I could turn off layaways, special orders, or customer orders. We can require a deposit here in layaway. I've said 20% required. And whereas I left the customer orders and special orders wide open, I said that layaways can only be recorded or made into a sale after we take all the money. I also added a 14-day suggested due date, which is nice because editing the dates are just awkward in this interface. So it's nice if it suggests one automatically and it's a reasonable period of time. All right, so let's go take a look at the types real quick. Let's jump back into point of sale. And new transaction. So is all 3 turned on? If I click on order, I see the customer order and the layaway. I do not see the special order. The special order is down here under options, special order, and special orders are their own animal because you can add items and select items, but you always have to go to options, special order. You can't just scan product into a special order. So, let's start. Let's make a customer order. So we're on customer order. Minimum requirement to make an order is a customer and an item, right? So I scanned an item in. I got a customer. I go to tender. It says, hey, do you want to take a deposit? I'm going to say no. I'm going to say, okay, I'm just living on 0. I don't have to. I didn't require it. And I'm going to say print update. We're going to look at the default receipt design. So there's a receipt 40. We're just going to preview that real fast, take a look at it. This is not a bad starting place for a receipt design. I mean, there's a few things I'd clean up, like this stuff here and the date, and change it to ALU instead of UPC. Other than that, I mean, it's not bad. I mean, it's really pretty slick. It's got the customer's name in there, the items they put on order. It's got an order summary at the bottom that gives them their balance due. Pretty nice, actually, not bad. Let's go back down to 100%, cancel that. And let's compare and contrast that to a layaway. So we ring up an item. We have a customer. And we go to tender. And then now it says minimum deposit is $4.20. If I zero that out, it says, oh no, dude, we can't play that game. So I have to take the minimum deposit. So we click OK. And it says $4.20. We could then say how we're going to take that. This is just tendering this. I could tender this by anything that you normally tender with, right? So I'm going to click $5 and click take, and then we're going to give the change back in cash and print update. And there's our change window, and grab the receipt design again, and there we go. There is balance due at the bottom, $16.79, right? So again, pretty decent print job. It doesn't take much to make that one fly really pretty nicely. Okay, so let's make a special order. So if I go to options, special order, I now get the option to create a new item or do an existing item. So we're going to say create a new item, and we're going to order a men's t-shirt and pick a vendor and put in a description. And put in an order number and a color and a size and a price. And so I just picked last use, and it sort of populated what I did last time I did this. So it's close enough for our webinar here, right? So they would type in all these fields, they would click save, and it would then ask for an adjustment memo to write the price in, right? And there we go. There's our special order item. If I want to add an item, I'm going to add an item this way here, just so we can see the mistake, right? So we can see it happen. So you see it comes on and it is a sale, not a special order item, right? So this one's a special order, this one's a sale. If I click on this one and say, oh, I want to change the item type to an order, no, can't do that, right? Can't play that game. So I'm going to remove this one because I usually restrict that, but I am not going to do that, and I'm not sure why we've got weird things popping up in our browser here. We're just going to get rid of that. To options, special order, right, an existing item, and then I could find, you know, that item. If I knew what item that was, I could key it in and find it this way, right? I could then just click on it, the checkbox, and click OK, and I could put that on there, and it would be a special order, right? Now, fortunately, in the special order mode, we're not typically ordering a dozen items, but you know, you could. So, but that's a limitation of the way special orders work, right? So we've got some special order items. We've got a customer. Let's see if we can get a customer. Okay, we got a customer. We go to tender. Now, in a special order, we didn't require a deposit, but typically people would not order something they've never carried before without some good faith money, at least half down or the full balance. So I'm going to click balance and click OK. And we're going to take that and an update. And I just generated a purchase order. Really interesting. All right, that's okay. I'm not sure what's going on. I might be moving faster than I should be here. So I have an order ID. Anyway, here's our print job. So you see here at the bottom, we don't have a balance due, right? We now have a deposit, order deposit amount, right? So there is no balance due. They paid us the whole thing, right? So they don't owe us any money. We owe them stuff. All right, let's see if we can hit that 100. There we go. So we now have 3 orders in the system. So let's click options and let's go transact. No, let's go options and transaction lookup. And now let's just do this. I just did like a little webinar thing right now to make sure we get a good recording. Anyway, so if I click search, what we're going to see is we're going to see oh, we see the 2 there. Oh, I see what's going on. So I'm on close, right? So I'm going to leave it on all. And that's really what I wanted to get to, is that the status down here is terribly important, right? So I just made 3 orders, and we see those 3 orders, plus we see 3 more orders down there, right? Now, if I say, I just see the 3 orders. Those other orders are completed. They're done. They were canceled or they were finished, but they're not pending. So here's our 3 orders, right? And so it's really important to know how to search for. Now, typically, these things, when they're printed, they have a barcode at the bottom, and you could just scan the barcode into the box right there and find them pretty quickly, right? So let's go back to our layaway, and let's take some deposits, right? So let's say that we're here and we want to take another deposit. We would go to order details. Order details is the place where we do everything. After we've created the order, everything else is done through order details, right? So I'm going to take a deposit, and it says $16.79 is due. So I am going to take $16.79. I'm going to click OK, and we're going to it takes us into a transaction, right? We go to tender and we say how we're going to take that money. And we hit print update. Let's take a look, right? Right, so now it's got the order deposit, right? Because there's nothing due, right? So cancel here and cancel and options, and I want to finish that. I want to record the sale, but I also want to make sure we know how to give money back should we have to. So let's just get that out of the way. Search, layaway, view transaction. So if I wanted to give them some money back on their deposit, I would just go back to take a deposit. I would say how much I'm going to give back minus $5, right? I would click OK, and it would say, okay, here's a transaction, and there's a give on this transaction, and I could just give that money, right? So I'm just going to update that only really quick. We don't think we need to see the receipt again. There's our change window. Now let's go back to options. This is good too, because it puts us in a perfect situation to look at how we would finish that layaway, right? So in real life, when they come in to pay the layaway off, it's not going to already be paid off. They're going to be paying it off, right? So we're going to go to order details, take a deposit. It's going to say $5 is due. We're going to say, yep, pay the last amount, balance, okay, and we're going to go take that money. And then we're going to, so once we take that money and we update that transaction, really, I wouldn't print this one, because in 2 seconds, we're going to record the sale and give them a real receipt, right? So, but now I have to go back and I have to search for that layaway again. So there's my layaway, view transaction. And now to complete this, we would go to order details, record the sale. Now record the sale versus fulfill the order and close the order. It's cultural, right? The way we perceive a layaway is that we finish it and record the sale, right? That's how we would perceive a layaway. If you see where I'm going, would you like to record the sale? Yes, I would. And boom, it comes up and says, do you want to print the receipt? And we're going to print the receipt. We're going to preview that. And so this thing should come up now, and let's take a zoom in a little bit so we can all see what's going on, right? So there's the items, right? They're being sold, and you see the payment method down there is deposit. So they gave us deposits over a period of time when the layaway, those become a liability in accounting. And then when we complete the sale, record the sale, then those deposits are used to pay off the transaction. Thus, they become part of cost of goods sold, right? So, and that's a receipt. So when they pick this up and we record the sale and we print that, that's just like their receipt. They take that right then with their items and they're gone, right? Cancel. Now, at that moment in time, let's go back to options. Let's go back to look up transactions, and let's click search. And see the layaway, because of the culture in layaways, now doesn't show up. I'm on pending. We recorded the sale, and the layaway is out, right? Okay, so let's take the special order now, and let's fulfill it, okay? So we're going to view that, and this has all the money, right? But it's not fulfilled, right? So let's go and say, okay, let's fulfill the order. They came in. We're going to fulfill the order. I could click on one and say fulfill that quantity, or I could go one by one. If there's 3, I could fulfill one and leave the other 2, but I'm just going to fulfill all. And okay, and it puts the 2 items on there. And we go to tender, and it says, hey, this thing's carrying a deposit. Do you want to use that deposit? Yes, I do. And we're going to take the deposit, and we're going to print update. And so again, deposit is the payment method, right? Pretty much similar though. Cancel. options, search, and pending transactions, search, and this one's coming up right now out, right? Now that if we go back to all here and I say search, that special order, see it says 100% filled, right? But FYI, if I went back to that thing and I said order status, I guess I can't fulfill it again. Interesting. There's been some cases where we've been able to fulfill it more than once. So I don't think you can record the sale either. Yeah, exception, right, good. All right, it's good. So now let's take a look at, so we've given a deposit, we've taken a deposit. Let's just check the check boxes here, right? So the types of orders, creating orders, yes. Taking deposits, refunding deposits, fulfilling orders, yes. Both methods. Canceling orders and closing orders, right? So if we go search for the last one, right? The customer order. Let's see if we can just go order type pending, search. Should give us just the one, right? So if they're not ever gonna, they didn't put any money on it, they're not coming down, they're not gonna get the stuff, and we're gonna cancel this. So in here, we're gonna choose close orders, what we're gonna do, but I think we've pretty much exhausted these except the deposit history, which we'll look at in a second, and the order dates. Again, the order dates are awkward to get to. They're in this menu, and you gotta come here to edit them. You see, we've got a due date because we set that preference, right? So anyway, let's close the order, and I don't need to print that, and that order is now closed. So now if we go back, we do a search here for pending transactions, pending orders, we should not have anything, and we don't. All right, so we go back to all, and we do a search, and we find the layaway, and we say view transactions. Let's take a quick look at that history because that's kind of cool, actually. Deposit history. Boom, there they are, right? So I could click on one of those. I could go to those transactions down here at the bottom, right? So I don't know that I need to. It's just going to see a deposit. I'm not sure that's terribly exciting, but you can. It's a nice way to trace things back if you have to. All right, so right. So then so we canceled one. We didn't close one. So let's go pick on the, and this is a tricky area, actually. Let's go to options, and let's go to transaction lookup. Like the special order, okay? It's 100% filled, right? There are no items being committed. Now with the customer order, the items were never delivered. So it was committing items out of our inventory forever, right? So that we really needed to close that one to say that this one's being turned off, right? Now this one here, it's not committing items, but to finish it properly, we would actually click close order, and we would say okay and close the order, right? Then it would be done. I'm just not sure. It's kind of on the line. That's something that, because you see, you have to go back and research for the item and go back to order details and close it. That it's not going to happen at point of sale. It's going to be a weekly follow-up of some kind, right? Okay. So if you're closing them and keeping your orders clean, and you should be keeping your orders clean, by the way, it's a good move. All right, so reporting and is pretty much it then, since I don't think we have any attendees today. So in reporting, there is a sales order, an SO deposit, and I have made other order reports. So SO deposit journal, right? So let's run that, and this just showing all the deposits from the various orders I've taken today, right? So like I said, I've made other reports. There's not a ton of Crunch does not have a ton of sales order reports, but I have made other reports. I don't have them handy. I looked for one earlier, but I couldn't find it. So But I do have other reports. Again, my name is Jeff at Big Hairy Dog, and that's Jeff K at bighairydog.com. And I can provide those, or we can work on a report if there's something we need to do. Right now, the only other report I really have is like an order status report that shows the current status of all your orders that you filter for. So thank you for watching. I'm going to tell you to have a good day. Again, Jeff at the Big Hairy Dog.